Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Bean here, and today I'm coming at you with a video that I am actually kind of excited for and that I am very surprised with my results of, but I decided to go through the books that I have read on my shelves and to pick the ones that I would love to see be made into well done movies and TV shows. And now I have them grouped by movies and TV shows. A lot more TV shows than movies, but it's because I read a lot of series, as you probably know. So I'm just going to start off right away with the movies, and then I'll move on to the TV shows. I feel like I need to do a little bit of a disclaimer here. Not all book to movies or book to TV shows are bad. Some of them actually end up being almost better than the books themselves. Very rarely. That hardly ever happens. But a lot of them end up being a lot worse. And so I am coming up with this list because these are books that played out like movies while I read them. So as I was reading through them in my head, they played as movies, and so I would love to see that movie come to the screen, whether that is in a cartoon form, in a realistic form, in a fantastical form, whatever it might be. That's more what this is for. I don't watch a lot of movies or TV shows, in all honesty. I tend to get really bored sitting and doing nothing but watching TV, so I don't have a great repertoire to go on here. I just know that lots of the ones that I have seen I really didn't enjoy, or some of the other ones that I haven't seen I have not heard good things about. Alright, the first book that I would love to be seen made into a movie is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, I'm not sure which one it is. This is a horror story about killer mermaids, and I feel like that's all I need to say, but this is honestly one of my favorite books in the entire world. I'm planning on rereading it very soon because I need it back in my life, and it was beyond creepy, and it was so well done. I would love to see someone do a really good job on this, because if you don't do a good job, I will send the killer mermaids after you and not feel bad about it at all. The next movie that I would not mind seeing is Warrior in the Wild by Trisha Levenseller. This is a story that takes place in Viking times, and it follows our main character Rasmira, who is the daughter of a chief. Her coming-of-age ceremony test is sabotaged, and so she is exiled, and while she is exiled, she must complete a certain task. And in order to complete this seemingly impossible task, she ends up teaming up with two boys who are outside of the villages already, and they are attempting to complete their own tasks as well. And so they work together in order to try and get back into the villages. So this was such a good book. I absolutely loved it. The feminism in here was great. I've always loved reading about Vikings. I am supposedly descended from Vikings, so rawr. But yeah, so that's fun. But I absolutely love this book. I cannot recommend it enough. Another one that I cannot wait to reread, and I think this would make a killer movie. The next one I'm going to go into is the first book in actually a series, but I still think that this book alone would make a great movie, and that's The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth. This book follows Claire, who is the head librarian in Hell's Library. She looks over the Library of the Unwritten, which is a library of all of the unwritten and unfinished stories that were started or thought of here on Earth but never published into actual novels. This was such an adventure, such a wild tale. This could be the first in like a series of movies, like maybe 3 movies or something like that, or 2 even would make more sense just for this one story. So I think that would be really awesome and very interesting and very fun as well, because it is such a unique world, and I absolutely loved the literary references that are found everywhere in this book. And the last book that I would love to see made into a movie is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This rom-com was probably one of my favorites that I have ever read. In all honesty, it was so cute, and the ref is adorable. The characters are adorable. It's so sweet. This follows the son of the first female president of the United States and the Prince of England, so the son of the Queen of England. And it's a love story between the two. It's a hate to love story. And if you haven't heard about this book, just go read it, guys. It is so friggin' adorable. And I cannot get over it. I think it's so cute. So I highly recommend this one. And I think this would really make an excellent date night movie. Not to mention, there's also political aspects to this that I think would be very relevant and very important for all of us to hear about. And the LGBTQ plus rep in here is great, and like I said, the characters are just amazing. So go read it now. So that was my list of books that I think would make great movies, and now I'm going to move on to the book series, or the books that I think would make addicting TV shows. Alright, let's start with an obvious one. The first one I'm going to bring up is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This book basically reads like a manga, and therefore I want an anime of it, and that's the end of the story. This book is so great, and it's one of my favorites so far this year, and highly recommend it. It's wonderful. Just go read it. It's so cute. It's such a, I don't want to say simple, but it's a very easy read, and so I think it's a fun, quick read. I could definitely see this book series being like three seasons of a show, or maybe 2 seasons, something like that. Not a long show, but still a super fun one and super interesting and just kind of cute. The next one I'd have to go with would be The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. The reason for this one is because I really want to see the period dress that they have for this series. This is a bit of a heist book that follows all sorts of different characters as they attempt to pull off one big heist in order to try and win back the reputation of one of their members. And it's an interesting book because it's a bit controversial. Not everybody likes it. I loved it. I thought it was really well done. It reminded me a lot of the TV show Leverage, but with younger characters. So I would recommend this one, and I think it might make a cute show for sure. I have not yet read the second one, so I cannot say anything about that yet, but it's coming out soon. I think the end of this year it comes out. So yes, keep your eye out for that one. The next series I would have to put in is the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson. I feel like we need more detective shows that are geared towards a younger audience that's not just Nancy Drew. So I think that this, while it is a bit darker than most children's shows for like high school kids or middle school kids, I think this would be a great show for them to watch. All right, moving on from there, I'm going to get into one that is a full, big, huge series that honestly could just have a bunch of little miniature series all spinning off of each other, and that is Tamora Pierce's world. Just the whole world that she has created, the world of Tortall. Wild Magic is my favorite book in this series, but there are several different series that follow different characters, and they all intertwine, and all of the characters meet each other, and I think it would just be absolutely amazing to see this kingdom full of magic and knights and dragons and sea creatures and all of this all come together as one, and I think it would be amazing. I wouldn't be able to go through this list without adding at least one J. Kristoff book to this list, because one, J. Kristoff is probably my favorite author, and two, his books are so descriptive and he creates such vivid worlds that it's hard not to imagine them as TV series. So one I'm going to go with is Storm Dancer, and part of the reason is because I really want to see this guy on screen. It's steampunk. It's steampunk with mythic creatures. I mean, come on, take this one and then The Invisible Library, and I will be happy to sit down and watch these shows. All right, also going with the civil unrest theme, I'm going to add Renegades by Marissa Meyer to this list. Renegades is a superhero themed book, or themed series, and while it's only a trilogy, I really think there are a lot of different directions that you could take this book in, and you could do even like prequels. So like before this specific story happens, how did everybody get into power, and following them and all of that. I really think you could play a lot with this world. I was gonna do Cinder, but then I decided that was just like way overused, and while I'd love to see it as a TV show, we've had so many retellings of those stories that it's just a little bit too much. So I'm gonna go with Renegades. Cinder gets an honorable mention. We'll go with that. The last 4 books that I have here are also still series, or are also ones that I would suggest for TV shows, but they're gonna be more on the adult end than anything else. The one that would be right on the edge, kind of like new adultish almost, would be the Every Heart a Doorway series. I don't have the first book. I have books 4 and 5. So would be the Every Heart a Doorway series by Shauna McGuire, also known as Mira Grant. And I think that this would just be such a magical series, and it would be absolutely amazing to be able to watch all of the creativity come to life on screen. I think this is a great show. I think this would be a great show that might only be like a couple, like 1 or 2 seasons long, but also there's so much really jam-packed into these little tiny little books that you could probably figure out a way to make a season out of each book. But I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. I don't do movies really, so I don't know. But I do know that these books cause me to travel to another world every single time I pick up a different one, and I cannot wait to continue. So, yes, make it into a movie or a show. Show, probably. Movie might be too confusing. The next series that I was thinking was going to be the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, because I do love this first book, and the second book was still good, and I'm finishing out the series this year, but I absolutely love Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell, and I really I could see them up on screen pulling their mischief, basically. They're just getting into trouble. And for example, I could definitely see this first book as either being its own movie or being a series in a TV show, and I really think that it would do very well in that. The next one that I'm going to bring up, I'm almost done, is Nevernight by J. Kristoff, because y'all knew that I was going to talk about this one. But I want Mia up on screen. I want the blood, guts, gore, and I just want it up there. Please, just give it to me, please. And the last one I'm going to talk about is actually a series that is still coming out. It is a long series. I don't even know how many books it is, but I have been reading it since like 2010 or something like that. I want to say maybe before that. It might have been before that. It might have been when I was still in high school. But it is a world that is created by the author Patricia Briggs. And the first book in the first series in this world that she created is Moon Called. This is the Mercy Thompson series. Now, this follows Mercy, who is a skinwalker. She can transform into a coyote. And she lives amongst werewolves and vampires and ghosts and ghouls and all of these different creatures who are also intermingled with humans. And the supernatural world is kept secret from the real world, and this is really kind of that trope, and I love it. This series is so well done. Patricia Briggs always writes super badass female characters that just will kick your butt if they need to, and they won't care about it, and that's okay. And they don't do things for the guys, they do them because they want to, and it's all about respect, and it's really quite an interesting series. It is so well done, and I absolutely love it. Highly recommend this. And that is the list of books that I have here for you guys today, and I think that these would make absolutely wonderful TV shows or movies if I had the patience to sit down and watch them. But if these were TV shows or movies, I would sit down and watch them, because otherwise I would be a hypocrite, and that's not okay. All right, well, that's all I got for you guys here today. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And if you want to be notified whenever we post these videos, hit the little bell icon down below. We would love to talk to you down in the comments, and all of our information can be found in the description box below. Until next time, guys, I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good day. Bye! Just ignore my nails. I don't have any nail polish remover right now, so they look atrocious. It's great.